To encapsulate it, I try to understand the relationship between perception and conception, because I think that perception is within the realm of the physical, right? So our senses channel information from the external world, and that's limited. Conception is that which consciousness does, which is able to bundle together many perceptions and attach a symbol to it, giving us meaning, and then it allows us to operate in the world. So if we have a concept such as infinity or nothingness or any of these abstractions that are irreducible to something effable, like, you can't really make it tangible or scientifically deduce it, then what does that mean? At that point, you realize, okay, well, under the rules of logic that does apply to the physical world, if there is an element to it that is required that we can't prove, like zero or infinities, which we use in mathematics all the time, then true boundary is not existence as it is, having this capability to exist with void somehow, or as void at the same space and time. Then the true boundary is really just the limit of my perception, so where it ends, and the beginning of my conception, where that begins. And that's where the paradox happens. You think of infinity, and it's a series of beginnings and endings that itself has no beginning and ending, and then you have this loop in your mind. That's the true boundary, and that's why I think it's important to realize that if there are veridical paradoxes out there, meaning that we have proven that some paradoxes just are, then it does give credence to the fact that an antinomical paradox and even a dialethic paradox can also be. And that's the one thing that becomes really the bedrock where you cannot go further, because how are you ever going to prove that this specific dialethia, and actually it's both an antinomy and a dialethia, two types of paradoxes together. How are you going to prove that? Well, at that point, it's no longer a matter of proof. It's a matter of pure empirical experience through consciousness, which is why I think, people who meditate and, take yahe or ayahuasca or whatever, they kind of sense it intuitively, but, we'll never be able to prove it scientifically.